Hey, 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 Dr. Shannon here, just wanting to go live about the science of success. I just recorded a YouTube video all around the brain science behind scaling. And I wanted to come live. It's been a while since I went live with you and deep dive into the thing that makes the difference between what I call the stuck founder and the scaled CEO. If we don't know each other, my name is Dr. Shannon Irvin. I am a 20-year entrepreneur, author of the best-selling book, The 67-Day Year, and I've helped hundreds of business owners scale to multiple millions by implementing the scaled CEO systems for CEO, for team, and for profit. And this is all based on the neuroscience or the science of scaling. And as I was saying, I just recorded a video that's going to air in a couple weeks all around a founder's nervous system and how you accidentally get wired to stay in the day to day, in the middle of everything, and in the revenue generation. And if you're feeling that right now, like you're making sure you're checking up on everything, you're double checking that the email looks right, you're double checking socials, even though you have a great team, you're double checking the work. You're the one, if we pull you out of the revenue generation, revenue comes to a grinding halt. Then, my friend, that was exactly where I was a decade ago, where I was stuck in what we call the founder's trap. It's where what we do with our nervous system allows us to launch, it allows us to get a business up, started, and running. It's grit, it's grind, it's hustle, it's push. It's you in the middle of everything, right? And you in the middle of everything really works in the beginning. And I know for me, like I had a hardcore identity of like service and doing. I wanted to glorify God and I really wanted to be the one that did it. And when you start a business, you fulfill that, right? Because you're the one driving revenue, you're the one hiring the team, you're the one deciding what operations looks like, you're the one doing it all. Until doing it all literally became a prison for me. Like it became the thing that made me start resenting my business a decade plus ago because everything on the outside looked amazing. Like I had a team, I had people, I had this incredible lineup of clients who I adored and loved. But every single thing in the business, if it were to move, drive, or grow, it had and required my energy, my time. Every team member was coming back to me, telling me exactly what it was. They're trying to get decisions made. They didn't feel comfortable making decisions. They would do just the check-ins on Slack, on Asana, on text message, just checking because why? Unknowingly, I had built a system to where it validated me checking on everything. So my team didn't feel comfortable making decisions on their own because I didn't let them own the day to day. I didn't realize that was happening. That's what we call the founder operating system, where everything like Atlas is on your shoulders and you're trying to push the business to scale and it just gets to a breaking point. It gets too heavy. And what no one tells us in the science of scaling is this: you must have three systems really hardwired, and it goes against your nervous system's wiring that you have in the first place. So the founder's nervous system is that grit, grind, push, I'll do it, I'll make it happen. And it works to about a million and then literally breaks. It literally stops working. And so what works next are these three things. And I'm going to just save you a few $100,000 because when everything broke for me back a decade or so ago, I went to get a PhD to figure out why I couldn't scale, why it was working till it stopped, what was wrong, why couldn't I think differently? Like clearly I would see people at, 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, but for whatever reason, I couldn't get there myself. I went and got, I always say the doctor in front of my name stands for desperate enough because I went and got a PhD to try to figure out how to get my brain to be wired like somebody at that next level. And when I really pulled back the covers and looked under the hood and all those metaphors of 10, 20, and $30 million businesses, I saw three main systems that they use to scale that almost zero founders, beginning business owners up to a million ever know exist. And so that's what the next decade became for me behind the scenes is building these three systems in my own business, enabling me to run the business for about 10 hours a week from above the business, not in it, not driving revenue. And as we passed through, like I call it the golden age or the golden era of online businesses, I knew I needed to pivot and start teaching these systems to those of you who are at, half a million, a million, and trying to get to scale and secretly are regretting having your business at night. Like, I don't know, for me, the moment for me that really shifted was when my daughter ran up to me on a soccer game, grabbed my leg, and said, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, did you see my goal? I finally made a goal." And I couldn't say yes because I was answering yet another Slack message on a Saturday at her soccer game. I was present, but not present. And I thought to myself, what the heck? Like when I was working for other people, I could be somewhere on a Saturday and be present. Why am I not able to do this? Why am I sacrificing the freedom that I created it all for to try to drive to scale? And these three systems we call the scaled CEO systems. It's your CEO dashboard. It's the systems for revenue, for delivery, for profit. It's a team system that transfers ownership of the day-to-day operations and revenue generation to the team through a simple red, yellow, and green dashboard where the owners and the team members know exactly how to win, when to win, and how to fix it if it's not winning. This enabled me to stop being in the weeds. I had to train my nervous system that it was safe to no longer put out fires, but to let others do that. I had to train my nervous system to be the leader that enabled others and mentored others to drive the business. And it's a skill. And most of us never learn this skill. And so we'll keep churning at that $1 to $2 million mark, kind of going forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards. And again, like no shade, that's an amazing business. But if the business is costing you your health, like it did mine, and we've got a podcast coming up about that, if it's costing you the freedom that you got into the business for, then you don't have a business. You have a glorified job that's has the pressures of a business, payroll, etc. So the three systems to become a scaled CEO, you have to hardwire your CEO system. That's your identity as well as your dashboards as a CEO. Then hardwiring your team to become day-to-day owners and revenue generators. And then having a scaling system that works in these 90-day scaling cycles that looks at one constraint, turning it red to green. That's how scale really starts to become a science, and how owners that you see that are running 3, 4, 5 businesses and they seem to always be on the golf course or always be, on socials, that's how they're doing it. And it wasn't until I got to that desperate point a decade ago and started doing research on what does the 10, 20, $30 million business owner, how the heck are they only working 10 hours a week when I'm working 70 and missing my daughter's goal? And that's what we uncovered. And for a decade ran within our whole business and was able to run 3 main businesses simultaneously while working 10 hours a week. And I'm not a special unicorn. I just learned the systems to scale. And having my background in neuroscience and understanding how nervous systems get hardwired, understanding how the brain or the brain's patterns get created. It's like everything in your whole life teaches you how to get to a certain place. And then you've never learned the other half. It's like you were taught English and you walk into France and start speaking French. It's not that they're smarter, it's that they know how to speak French. And French in the scaling world is the systems that scale. We call that the scaled CEO. systems, and we do a weekly diagnostic helping you walk through which one of your systems has the biggest constraint. So if that's something you're interested in, check out the links in whatever platform you're watching this live, and you'll be able to sign up there. So I just wanted to come live this morning and talk about the science of scaling. I wanted to talk about the differences in the nervous systems and the brains of those who are founders or stuck in that founder trap and that founder operating system, to those who have a scaled CEO system where the revenue in the day to day is not driven by you, and where you can run the business from a dashboard and know exactly what the right constraint is to fix, right person to hire, right person to promote, because you're seeing it in color, green, yellow, and red. And you have the systems employed and wired that give your brain safety that it is okay to let others run the day to day and the revenue generation. Those are systems. They need to be installed, and then you get to practice utilizing those. And little bit by little bit, you train your brain to now become a scaled CEO, get to the next level, to really push it and start to learn that it isn't more effort or more work that is going to create the 10, 20, $30 million business. It's being able to accurately diagnose the constraints. And that's what the dashboards and the systems enable you to do. And then when you have A players that own the day to day and own revenue generation, and we have a dashboard that they can see exactly what they need to do to win, they feel so much more fulfilled. They want to see the business win. And you go from being Atlas with the whole world on your shoulders to an entire team of people that care as much about your business and driving revenue and seeing success as you do. That's what we call the scaled CEO. It's a 10-year journey of where I've been and helping entrepreneurs. But behind the scenes, really the thing that was helping us scale and helping me work the way I was working was these three systems: CEO, team, and a scaling system that enables you as the founder to become a scaled CEO. So I wanted to come live, talk about that, and talk about the fact that it's learnable. These are systems that are easy to install, but most will not slow down to speed up. So they'll be stuck in that churn of 500,000, 1 million for decades, doing it the same way and expecting a different result. What I learned by studying those that were at 10, 20, and 30 back a decade ago was that those three systems were there, operating, dialed in, and the CEO could run the business from above. And in reality, that's when I started seeing true freedom in my business. Now, you can drive a business, but there's a difference between driving a business and having a business. You can serve deeply. You can glorify God. You can really move things to the next level so much faster when you don't do it alone. And so many founders, so many starting business owners or business owners that have scaled, we hire team, but then we do what I call the tug of war. We give them something, we take it back, we analyze, we help them decide. It wasn't until I installed that team system where I could truly give real ownership over and really see other individuals on my team own it better than me. All right. I hope this has been of service to you. Like I said, if you'd like a seat in the live diagnostic, they're held, it's coming up Monday at 12 o'clock. So that's just about 45 minutes. Check the link in the social platform you're on and register. And I will be glad to help you see which of the three systems is the biggest constraint for you and how to become that true scaled CEO. And use science of scaling to your advantage and get there to that place of freedom that you built the business for to begin with. All right, you guys have a great Monday. I can't wait to see some of you live on the scaled. We call it the self-scaling business diagnostic. Can't wait to see you there. And until next week, bye for now.